Hello, Thomas, and you probably know why you're here. It's because we actually have to do an interview on you, because I want to talk about some of the things that happened to you while you were in the Glade. Okay, Thomas, so I have some questions that I need to ask you. So the first question is, what were your first thoughts when you got to the maze? So, when I first got to the maze, man, I didn't even know what to think. I was just very confused. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just didn't know what even was going on. And I was just scared, basically. I didn't know what to expect, and I had no idea where I was. I totally agree with you there. I mean, I would probably freak out if I was put in that same situation. Alright, so your next question is, how do you feel about Chuck? In general, just what are your feelings towards Chuck? Chuck, at first he was really annoying and he got on my nerves a lot, but I think that the more I got to know him, he became better and we got to be closer friends, and now I'm sad that he didn't make it out of the maze alive. I agree with that. Alright, so your next question is, why do you want to become a runner? What is it that makes you want to become a runner so badly? Because I just kept having these feelings that I just knew that it was something that I needed to do, you know? Even after seeing the Griever through the window, I just felt like being a runner in the maze was just something that I had to do, and I don't understand why still. But I think ever since I became a runner, it helped us all escape the maze alive. Okay, interesting. Okay, so your next question is, what happened between you and Ben? You'd only been there for a day, but what happened between you guys? What happened between me and Ben was, I was walking alone by myself in the woods, and then all of a sudden I saw him just standing there, and then he looked kind of weird and messed up, so I didn't know what to expect, and then all of a sudden he started chasing me, and then he jumped on me and started attacking me, and he bit my arm not until someone pulled him off of me. But it was really weird because I had no idea what was going on, because it was my first full day being at the maze, and I didn't really know what to expect. So why was everyone in the maze accusing you of being a spy when you first got there? The reason that I think everyone was accusing me of being a spy is the fact that they only send one person every month, and since I was sent one day and then Teresa was sent the next day, they thought that it was something really weird was going on, and especially the fact that she was the last one coming up after me. And so I just think they just thought it was really weird because something like that has never happened before. So they kept accusing me of things that they thought that I knew something, but I didn't know anything. I knew just as much as they did when they first entered. So, how are you and Teresa connected? Me and Teresa, I'm not quite too sure how we're connected exactly, but basically, I can sense her emotions, and I can basically speak to her through her mind. And I can sense when she's in trouble, even when she's far away. And I don't know why that is still. This is one that we've all been wondering. So after Albie was trapped in the maze, why did you go in the maze when you know the maze doors were gonna close and you had a very big chance of dying? Even though Mino told you not to, why did you still do it? Now that I look back on that, I don't think it was something that I needed to do, but I'm still kind of glad I did it because I saved Albie. Even though he was still messed up after I went into the maze, even though Mino told me not to, I still saved Albie's life. But he did go through the changing later. But I think it was all worth it because of that. And I just want to say, yeah, honestly, I am lucky to be alive. But it was not an easy night. So how did you feel after you survived an entire night in the maze, and no one had ever done that before. Felt just crazy. Like, I didn't think, well, I didn't even know what to expect at first when the doors first opened and I knew that I survived the night. I just thought it was insane, and I don't know how we even did it in the first place, but I just think I just think that's awesome that we were able to survive a night in the maze after nobody else. There's been 11 or 12 people that have died in there before me, and I was able to survive, and Mino too. After you got out of the maze and you got into the helicopter, what were your first thoughts when you found out that the entire maze thing was just a trial and that they were all testing you to see if you can survive? What were your first thoughts about that? First found that out, I was furious because all I knew at that point was the maze. I didn't know anything outside of the maze. I knew we were just trapped inside this box, and I didn't think there was a lot outside of the world, but I knew there was. I knew there was someone watching us. Like, I knew there had to be people out there, but all I understood was the maze. And to turn out that where we had been living was all just a joke and a trial made me furious. Last question is, what were your first reactions to the outside world? Like, what stood out to you the most? So when I first saw the outside world, and I saw what the sun had done to it, I was astonished because what it was like in the outside world and how the whole thing is sand basically, and how everything is drying up is just so much different than how it is in the glade. We can grow plants, and we had freaking huge trees all over, and to see that the outside world is nothing like what we were used to was just really weird.